SaaS companies spend a lot of time and energy trying to understand their market, run competitor analysis, voice of customers programs, and they don't do this one thing that takes 30 minutes and is incredibly effective when it comes to understanding the market and understanding the competitive landscape. I'm going to show it to you. You can use G2 data to understand what your prospective customers are unhappy when it comes to their current solutions. So every single review on G2 has a what do you dislike about this solution part, and it's mandatory to fill that out. So I think very few companies are systematically collecting those reviews, categorizing them, and building a user sentiment report based on that. It's very simple, it doesn't take a lot of time, and the insights are really incredible. What you do is to select companies in your space, either direct competitors or alternative solutions, maybe the old way of doing things when your software represents the new way of doing things. The next step is to take snippets of those what do you dislike sections for every single review and collect them in a spreadsheet. You'll have to categorize them based on the main pain point, and you will also want to make sure that you only collect reviews that seem legitimate. So unfortunately on G2 fake reviews are a thing, so whenever something doesn't look like it comes from a real user or it doesn't look genuine, then you don't need to keep track of that. Aside from that detail, you keep all of those snippets into a spreadsheet and you categorize them for each vendor that you chose to consider in that analysis. Once you have that data, you can simply analyze it in a few seconds, create a pivot table, and look at the main pain points for different vendors. And the insights are really, really interesting. So this is a real analysis. I only changed the name of the software. You see, it's very clear that with vendor number one, price and cost is the main pain point for their customers. In the last example, ease of use seems to be the main problem. And you don't just look at this data. The reason why it's important to include all of those reviews is because your marketing team needs to be able to read exactly the words used by those customers to describe the problem. This is a great top level view, and then you can take it a level deeper and be like, okay, this company ease of use seems to be a problem. Let's take a look how they actually describe it. There is a learning curve to understand the required operators. We're building an automation workflow. So maybe that specific part of the product is hard to understand. Some features can be a little bit confusing and the user interface doesn't help. UI is the problem. There's a bit of a learning curve. It's trickier for beginners, so probably time to value is longer because there is a learning curve to get up to speed. So these are like, again, these are real reviews. I only changed the name of the software. And this can be done both to understand competitors, but also to understand the industry as a whole. So in this example, it looks like the pain points are quite different for different vendors, but it might easily be the case that in some other scenario, you have some broader problems with the way current solutions are solving the specific problem. And these pain points might look very similar for different competitors. So it's not just about understanding what customers don't like about a specific solution, but also what do they actually need from a software of that sort. And what do you do after you have this deep understanding of what customers are unhappy with? All sorts of things. You can improve your messaging on your homepage, on your website. You can use this data to build specific landing pages that compare your solution to others or maybe even to specific alternatives. You can use this during sales conversations or in other ways throughout the sales process. You can even use it probably for even more strategic work, like understanding which features might require more attention from a product perspective, or how you can differentiate from competitors and actually even impact your product roadmap. However, that's already like a pretty advanced use case. Even if you just want to keep things in the marketing court, There are many, many ways of impacting user facing content by having an analysis like this. I think very few companies are doing this systematically by actually collecting all of the reviews, actually having the words customers use to describe their problems and categorizing them and summarizing them. So let me know what you think. This has worked really well for me, especially when I have clients in verticals that I don't know too well and I need this to get myself up to speed and really understand the underlying problem and where current solutions fall short. But I think this is helpful to anyone. Let me know your thoughts. Take care.